I loved the interview that we saw last week. It was a great backstage moment. It wasn't even really an interview. The cameras were present when you just shared your heart and shared your feelings with Martha and with Oj. And man, it had to be pretty emotional to be there. I mean, we saw it, but is there any behind the scenes you can share with us about your experience in Calgary last week?
Mm. I tell you what, Conrad. Before we get into that, man, I literally just came in from the gym. It is still hot up here. I may have to turn the fan on during this. But before we get into those backstage comments, I just want to kind of tip my cap to Brian Danielson. That the finals of that match that I got to witness, obviously at ringside, be a part of that. That picture, for you audio listeners only, right now we are currently showing a picture on our YouTube feed, myworldpod.com YouTube. Martha in the ring, who had just announced Brian Danielson the winner. Brian has the belt over his shoulder. Me and him are jointly lifting the cup. The old adage that a picture says a thousand words. To me, it really does. It epitomizes to me Owen's in-ring skills because he was baby brother. And I'm not saying held to that standard, but Brett got to the WWF first. He was the Hart Foundation and had that tag team run, and just kind of the spotlight, and naturally and rightfully so, had been on Brett. But I think Brett would even tell you about Owen's in ring skills and just how really, really, really good they were. So for me to have the opportunity to stand in the ring in Calgary and in during the Calgary Stampede. Now, a lot of folks are thinking, "Oh, what do you mean by that?" Well, the Stampede is a 10-12 day event, and it's the biggest pop culture event in all of Canada. So it's really on another level from a pop culture point of view. AEW Dynamite, right smack dab in the middle of it on a Wednesday night. And so for Martha and myself and Brian, a good bud, I've respected him for so many years, but I believe currently he's the very best in ring. I hate to use the word performer. I'll just say in ring professional wrestler, because from bell to bell, he tells stories, a passion, heart. And so for him to win the tournament, for this point, I'll pause the stipulation, but just for him to win the tournament, me be a part of it, Conrad, that was really, really, really inside for me, very, very emotional because, don't know folks' thoughts, but Owen, I don't like to say looking down, but Owen being aware of that, which I believe he's fully aware. I hope he put a smile on the face. The Owen that I know and love, he absolutely would have loved it. Probably like to pull a little rib here and there, but that to me kind of set the stage in so many ways. And then, as we get done, and that was seg 1, 2, or 3. It was at the very top of the show. The opportunity then, AEW Digital. Shout out my man, G and Zane. They wanted to get some comments. And so Conrad, just having that opportunity, I've said it, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I will. The Grand Weaver, you just cannot, you can't script this, you can't plan this, you can't try to even manipulate these kind of circumstances. But for, in a lot of ways, Karen obviously is my family, but Sanjay and Jay are I'll call it my wrestling family, and we go back so many years. But to have the opportunity, and Oj there, and Athena is in Australia. She couldn't make it in, but Martha, and we got to kind of laugh and cut up. And Conrad, I don't know if you got to see there was a short version on Collision, but the long,
I saw the long version.
Yeah, where Martha, she's not in industry at all, and certainly Oj not either. But I had no idea what they were going to say, and for Oj to make reference that, hey man, I've never felt closer, um, to the situation that I have right now. That warmed my heart in so many ways. I just can't put that in words. And he recalled that's where he met me, in that building, when we did a WWF live event back in the day, and Martha kind of spontaneously referencing us being buds and sons of promoters, and as a wife, she would probably chuckle when Owen would leave the house on a 10 or 12-day loop with, I'm telling you, two small bags. And so he would always say, "Oh, I'll just borrow Jeff's clothes." Just those kind of things that brought up, man, Conrad, it was really a very, very cool moment. And you know, the day after Raw, or day after the pay-per-view at Raw in St. Louis, that 25 years ago, I said that, as I look back now, in shock. And nobody knew how to put the right words together. It was still, the night it happened, there was a just obviously a terrible feeling, but the following night to me was just as, I guess, uncomfortable, sad, tragic. Um, the show must go on, and everything that went with it. But, they asked me to say a few words, and that was what was in my heart 25 years ago, that I made a pride of ourselves that I'm going to let them know just how special Owen was. And for me to get that opportunity, I just shoot. I'm rambling here, Conrad, because it's still hard for me to put it in words. Flying home on Thursday, I just kind of sat there, and one of those moments that all I could think of was just 1,000% gratitude for so many things. Um, and uh, the last time, um, 7 years ago, in October of 2017, that I kind of, uh, I left Calgary at the lowest point of my life. And so to leave Calgary 7 years later, almost 7 years later, with that overwhelming gratitude. I mean, at the very core of it, that I'm alive, that I'm healthy, that I'm in the wrestling industry. I could go down a list a mile long, Conrad, and just the tip top of it all is that I got to see an Oge Hart with a smiling face. Man, oh man, that was the good stuff, pal.